Inspiration for challenging times. At this time, many people are feeling a sense of life having stopped. Maybe for some, a sense of hopelessness. And of course, some people have had to deal with sadness and bereavement, unfortunately. But let's look at this time maybe in a wider perspective. That's what I want to do. And I know that since the end of March, I have felt this kind of energy, this stream of consciousness that seems to be becoming more powerful. A consciousness that feels to me as though it is longing to be born. But it's here. It's already part of our here and now. There's a strong feeling of this energy being pregnant with possibility, of it holding within itself that which needs to unfold in the coming days, weeks, months and years. And I can only describe it as an expansive force, but a force that brings with it a new tune or a new vibration, not totally different to that which was there before, but using the analogy of a tune, of a note that is higher up the octave register. So this new energy that is not yet fully into form feels as though it's nestling, getting ready to burst forth, in the same way that during the deepest winter, the elements of spring are starting to find their sustenance deep within the earth, are starting to seed and to grow, even though we cannot see that manifesting. But this is very different to the energy of the seasons or spring, the way I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it as something which has a lot of potential within it, a stream of energy that is part of all that is, a stream of energy that wants to open out and for us to be a part of it. Because our relationship to the energy around us, to the forces of life around us, not just within us, are part of life, part of that which has the possibility to manifest. And some things can only manifest when we nourish them. But when there is a kind of river that is there, that is seeking expression, greater expression as time goes on, then perhaps that river, that energy, will in part be coloured by what we want to make it, be determined in part by our relationship with it. And I will never forget watching a video quite some years ago now of Barbara Marx Hubbard talking about the Noosphere, the thought sphere around the earth that is part of all that is, but it's like something that is interactive with cosmic forces that are greater, that are far greater than us. And I feel that these are the times that we are living in. Important times, exciting times, but times when it's very much up to us to make the most of our potential, our ideas, and our capacity to grow in new ways. And when I think about that, it feels very daunting. And then I did some research. I knew also that there are many people who would describe themselves as energy intuitives or sensitives, who have felt this sense of excitement, this sense of birth, for want of a better description, that is there beneath the surface of life and growing stronger, particularly in the last few weeks. But I was really looking for something else, and I found some work that had been completed by dowsers, and these people, of course, measure and experience the energies in the earth in a much more defined way than just having a feeling or an intuition or sensing them in a broader way. And I know that some dowsers have measured the energies in very recent times and have said that there is a wider expanse of energy that is flowing into the ley lines or the grid that they measure at this time. And that has to be something that is there for a reason, as part of nature, as part of life, as part of our relationship with life. And it's perhaps a good time now to start opening our minds, not so much to what has been, but to what could be. To start thinking of all the possibilities for us as individuals, all the possibilities for us collectively. And some ideas will see the light of day and gather force and gather momentum, and others will just be as ideas. But they are all part of the whole, all part of an expectation that something positive is waiting to be born, something that is waiting to be born, that is a little bit like a piece of clay. That piece of clay has to be there before it can suggest a form to us, or we can have ideas of what we might shape it into. Because what comes first? Is it the chicken or the egg? Do we see a piece of clay and wonder what we can create out of that? Or do we have an idea for something that we would like to make, for a piece of pottery, and we decide to go looking for a piece of clay? So I'm wondering what it is that happens with this kind of energy expansion. Is it that we're already looking, and that helps to draw something that is out there into the energy grid, the subtle energy grid, and then that is something that we can work with, because different forces are there beneath the surface, so different directions will be taken by us as people. Or is it that that energy is there, and then there is an ups, we feel it within us, we feel the excitement, and the energy of excitement is very different to the energy of inertia, the energy of being stopped, which of course in many ways has happened in terms of our material lives and the plans that we had to put into operation. But in other ways, there is this force that wants to move forwards, a hopeful force, a strong force, a force to be reckoned with. And this is the energy much more of excitement, of a sparkling energy, of a finer energy that is not so heavy and earthbound, and yet it is of the earth. it fits in with the earth energies beautifully, because how else could it exist? And yet there is this sense of excitement. And when we are excited, when we feel that, our thinking, our capacity to create is very different to when we are in a state of inertia. And that excitement that I think many feel at this time is like a wave, a beautiful ocean wave that we can surf on or ride and wonder how far it wants to carry us. But in allowing the exhilaration of the wave to lift our thoughts, to lift our own seeds of potential, we can wonder where it is going to carry us.